Golden Boot predictions of every top league in Europe. That's what we're doing. But before we get to it, leave your thoughts and predictions in the comments down below of your Golden Boots in the top leagues.
Yep.
How are you, Breton?
I'm good. I feel Portuguese. I feel it's hot here though. It is hot here.
Is.
But we are ready to go because club season's back, man. Club season's back, and I know we all like to talk about goals more than defense. And with all these signings and whatnot, I think we have to start at the Premier League.
Yes.
But yeah, Golden Boots. We're going to talk about some other strikers, some other new additions.
No, we'll talk like Primera Liga, Super League, Turkish League. Okay, we're going to be talking about them.
9 leagues.
9 leagues. So
9
people,
leagues.
very informative, but get your predictions down below.
Let's go.
The Premier League top 3.
Yep.
My top 3.
Okay.
Not strikers. My top 3 my top 3 goal scorers in the Premier League for next season have number 1, obviously, Haaland.
Erling Haaland. You almost said Harry Kane.
I almost said Harry Kane. Erling Haaland. Number 2,
Yeah.
I'll say Darwin Núñez.
Okay.
And number 3, look, imagine if Rasmus Winter-Højlund is the number 3. I'm going to be that guy.
You are going to be that guy.
I'm going to be that guy.
I'd put Rashford up there before I would put
Rasmus,
Højlund,
you think
just
Rashford's going to have more goals next season for United than Winter
yet.
Højlund?
I think Højlund is going to be injured a little bit, yeah. But we'll see. I mean, Rashford...
That defeats the purpose of the striker.
It does, but it also, you can look at it as attention paid.
No, they
you
help
can look
each
at
other.
it, yes.
Yeah,
But
I'm joking.
I mean, the Premier League, even starting here is tough, right?
It's
Because
true.
Erling Haaland, 36 goals last
36
season?
goals in 38
And listen,
games.
there's only been one player ever in Premier League history to score 30 in 2 back-to-back Premier League seasons, and that would be the man himself, Alan Shearer, who I think just snarkily posted on Twitter saying it was a picture of him superimposing his head on a pilot with him waiting outside a jet saying, Harry, come on, I'll fly you to Germany, because he wants his Premier League record intact. But listen, I don't think we're talking about Erling Haaland doing 30 again as something that won't happen, is what I'm saying.
Sorry.
I think that's it's whether or not for me can Erling Haaland beat
Surpass
36.
himself?
Can he surpass himself?
I think he
and
can.
Yes, I'd like to think that there is a world where, Erling Haaland is actually challenged by the Premier League and he might not get 36
You see
again.
that Community Shield game? He's challenged by Saliba, certainly.
He is challenged by Saliba, but he only plays him twice a year.
So you have Haaland first?
I got Haaland first. My second. Everyone's talking about the decline of Mo Salah. Everyone is talking about the decline of Mo Salah. That I hear. At least maybe everyone in this room.
He had a declined season last season.
He did. I agree. But I think that this high-octane
Still world
attack,
class.
I think
Still
this
world class.
high-octane attack, I think we are going to start to see it come together, especially with that newfangled midfield Liverpool's putting together. Very expensive midfield. But come on, Mo Salah takes penalties.
Mm-hmm.
Mo Salah is going to have Cody Gakpo. He's going to have Darwin Núñez. He's going to have healthy Luis Diaz.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, I'd like to see Ben Doak in there too, But I really do believe Salah will be 2. He'll be second on that podium.
I think Darwin Núñez next season will have to have more goals than Mo Salah. No doubt. And I know Mo Salah is one of the best African players, if not the best African player ever in the history of Premier League. But Darwin Núñez came with a price tag and expectations at that striker spot to make the difference. So if Darwin,
see it?
Let's see.
All right. Well, we can say Liverpool on that. I'm going to say one Liverpool player on the podium. All right. No, third place. Obviously, Harry Kane leaving threw us for a lurch this morning when we were getting ready for this. You picked Højlund for 3. I am not going to do that. Or Nico. Well, he's a nice shout.
Bold.
It's a nice shout. I like that shout. I will throw a different shout out there.
Okay.
I'm going to throw Newcastle out there. I'm going to go with Isak. I think he's poised for something. I mean, his biggest issue last season was finishing.
Between Isak, Højlund, and Nico Jackson, you'd pick Isak.
Because I think Newcastle has a better structure right now.
Okay.
A better structure. I think he will get opportunities. I think
if I go Højlund is bold. If I go Højlund, it's bold.
Yeah, it is bold, I think.
I'm believing in this kid, mate.
9 in Serie A. I mean, you're going to need at least
6 for Denmark and 4
20
starts
to get on the podium, I think.
Yeah.
So,
And
okay.
That's what he needs to do.
Yeah,
Those are the expectations in his first season in the Premier
League. So your
League.
bold take is Højlund, my bold take is Isak.
That's a bold take. So
Okay.
you have Haaland 1,
Yeah.
2 Salah or Darwin,
Yeah.
and 3 you have
Isak.
Isaac. Okay. Put down below your predictions of the top 3 in the Premier League. Quite young. This top 3 in the Premier League. That's how the Premier League's going. Serie A. Because Serie A deserves recognition.
Yep.
A lot of people say Serie A is not the top league. You don't know ball if you say that, okay? And Serie A has one of the best strikers in the world with Victor Osimhen. And I believe he will stay as the top goal scorer of the Serie A.
Yeah,
Victor Osimhen.
Unless someone comes in with a $120 million bid.
I think 120 is still not enough. I
Probably
think it'll have
not.
to be more than 150 to 170 maybe to convince that president to let him go. So I'll say Osimhen 1.
Yep.
I'll say Lautaro number 2, like last season. And number 3, I'm hoping my guy Rafael Young goes bold. And this new AC Milan team, it's meant for a player to go bold. And Rafa, Barala, maybe. Top goal scorer if it happens.
14 last year? 15 last year?
I think, yes. Above 13, yes. So I have number 1, Serie A Golden Boot, Victor Osimhen. Number 2, Lautaro. And number 3, Rafael Young.
Okay. I really hope Lucas Beltran goes to Fiorentina before I say this. I really hope it gets done because I think he can hit the ground running in Serie A.
Done deal.
There's also another Retegui is another kind of a dark horse here. But I'm going to agree with you, obviously. Golden Boot-wise, Serie A.
Thuram is a dark horse.
He could be.
Replacing Dzeko?
Could be, but like Lautaro's got that on lockdown. I mean, 24 goals last season?
Still.
I mean, he knows what he's doing in
and
this
Immobile
league.
is bold too.
Yeah. Well, 33 years old. He might run out. His time might run out. But listen, okay. Serie A, yes.
And
I mean, if Victor Osimhen and the Kvaratskhelia connection is intact and not threatened, and no Saudi Arabian bid comes in and pries Osimhen away, Osimhen will lead the chase again, or will lead the Golden Boot. That's for sure. Lautaro, I picked 2. I'm going to go for Vlahovic. 3 here. I will go for Vlahovic.
I don't have Vlahovic because I reckon he might leave. Just saying, people.
Well, he hasn't left yet. And he only had 10 goals last season. So I think he's going to have a chip on his shoulder. I like you've got Weah coming in there on the right. Chiesa's healthy. I think he's got support behind him this season that's brewing. And we'll see. I mean, I'm cautiously optimistic about Juve's chances this season.
So you have
I will say,
Lautaro and Vlahovic.
That's correct. But
I'm trusting Rafael Young, and I think Vlahovic leaves.
I got a little MLS bias here. I got to throw a dark horse out there. You mentioned Ciro Immobile.
I knew you were going to say this.
I have to. Tati Castellanos. If I had a bias last season, we would have seen me saying, "Oh my gosh, he's going to score 20 goals for Girona."
He scored 4 goals against Real Madrid.
Yeah.
That was pretty epic for him.
He scored a poker against Real Madrid. Let's repeat that again, okay? That's a big deal. And it wasn't Real Madrid, his B team. It wasn't them playing against La Fabrica.
But it was 1/3 of his goals in La Liga.
It was. Well, if he puts 4 up on AC Milan or something, then, we can revisit this. But listen, Tati Castellanos was brought in. He was brought in order to, I think, start to usher out Immobile. Or at least the influence... to start to transition him out because he's 33 years old. He went from 32 goals 2 seasons ago to just 14 last season.
That is true.
So, Castellanos hopefully can take some of that burden off of his shoulder. I think you're going to wind up loving him. If you're a Lazio fan, you're gonna like him. He plays with his heart on his sleeve. So he's my dark horse.
I watched Castellanos a couple of games, and I say he's not just a striker that can do a finish inside the box. Yeah. He fancies outside the box too. Very good movement. Yeah. And for 15 million, that was the price tag that Lazio got. Yep. That is a bargain for a player with the La Liga experience he has.
NYCFC bought him for $400,000.
That's good business done
in
the MLS. Sometimes it's done.
Sometimes it's done.
La Liga, La Liga.
You don't think like a Dybala? You don't think
Dybala? I'm even reluctant if Dybala is gonna stay too. I am. Look, Vlahovic, Dybala. These are players that last season they could be seen as fringe players, but they were very impactful. Well, they were very impactful in the past. Dybala was more impactful than Vlahovic. I'm waffled there, but Vlahovic. Yeah, needs change. Allegri,
Yeah. The last thing I'd want to mention about Serie A is Højlund's replacements or Højlund's successors, you could say. They reworked their whole attack, essentially. And you got El Bilal Torre, who is definitely one you've got to watch, young. But I think it'd be more poetic, I guess, or maybe more karmic if it's Gianluca Scamacca who comes back in and says, to the Premier League, I can do it. And he goes, 18, 19, 20 goals in Serie A.
That can happen.
It could happen. Absolutely.
Scamacca at Sassuolo was, and Berardi, that was a great duo at the time. That's true. That's true. And who fits David Moyes? It's hard. It's a hard fit. So La Liga, I think, no surprise for the people at home. No. I think the La Liga Golden Boot is going to go to Lewandowski, okay? Top 3 striker in the world right now. He makes Barcelona a Champions League contender in form. Yep. So this man is no doubt in my mind the golden boot of La Liga next season. Do you agree with me?
Yes. I do agree with you. I mean, we have to have the conversation at some point. When does Robert Lewandowski slow down? But we don't need to have that conversation right now.
I give 2-3 years.
Because he's not done.
And physically, the man, he's in his 20s physically. He takes a lot of, he takes very good care of his body.
Plus, if you put a bunch of, young jackrabbits around him like Pedri and Cobb, hey, he's not going to need to do as much as he has to put the ball in the back of the net.
Yeah, they got an elite team. So
Lewandowski is the favorite.
Do we have number 2? Who do you have at number 2?
Yeah, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to say, this is not going out there at all. I'm going to say Griezmann.
Griezmann is a good shout.
He was 15 and 17 last season. I think he'll flip it around. La Liga. Lewandowski had 23 last year and won.
I think Lewandowski was.
You don't have it wasn't.
Benzema was the second. Yes.
Right. So I think
Joselu third.
Griezmann is somebody that is doing it all. Obviously, he might have more assists than goals, but I think. You got to give him a shout to wind up on the podium, and Atleti's going to be leaning on him even more this coming season.
I think it's reasonable to say that Griezmann will be in the top 3 next season.
Okay. You have him at 2, or who do you have at 2?
Look, my 2 is I have Griezmann.
Okay.
But my 3, I'm a bit. Look, I hope Vinicius Junior manages to be a player that gets more than 15 to 20 La Liga goals. Yeah. But I do believe his focus is Champions League 2. Yeah. If in all competitions, Vinicius Junior did have more than 20 goals and 20 assists, and that for a winger is elite. If Mbappe goes to Real, look, we changed this whole list. We put Mbappe 1, Lewandowski 2, and Griezmann 3rd. But without Mbappe, this top 3 list of golden boots in La Liga, I go currently with Lewandowski 1, I go Griezmann 2, and I hope that Vinicius Junior or Joselu are the ones to score the goals, because Joselu was the 3rd best goal scorer in La Liga last season.
And now he's got a Real Madrid support around him.
Yeah. So it's like...
Yeah, so that's good. The only other one I'd throw is Sorloth out there, who's coming back at Villarreal.
Good one.
Sorloth had 16 goals last season.
That's a good show.
He couldn't get it done in the Bundesliga, couldn't get it done in the Premier League with, what was that, Crystal Palace back in the day?
That's a good show.
But Sorloth, I think, in a Villarreal team with Jeremy Pino and they lost Chukwueze, but... he's got support to get it done.
And
so that's my wild card, I guess you could say.
Yeah, Villarreal, they got 90 million from Nico Jackson, from Paul Torres, and from Samuel Chukwueze, which we believe is a bargain deal for Milan to get Chukwueze.
And Nico Jackson was all off the back of a half a season.
35 million release clause, which can be seen as a bargain too if it works out at Chelsea.
Absolutely.
So, La Liga, we've got that done. Ligue 1.
Yeah.
Liga. I'm going to keep it simple for the people at home. I think Ligue 1 will have an historic striker now that has landed, okay? Gonçalo Ramos, he's just arrived at PSG. El Pistolero, yeah. And Gonçalo Ramos is going to beat, if all goes right, that I believe it will go right, because of the talent, the work. This kid works so hard.
Yeah.
He's going to beat that Pauleta record of 109 goals for PSG.
Okay.
I believe he'll become the top goal scorer, Portuguese goal scorer in PSG history. Will he surpass Mbappe? Long term, let's wait and see. But Gonçalo Ramos, no doubt, will be the best striker in Ligue 1 next season, and he will be deserving of the starting spot of Portugal, scoring goals in the Champions League week in, week out, and improving massively with Luis Enrique. World-class striker in the making. Gonçalo Ramos.
Okay. I have him on my podium.
You don't have him first?
I'm not going to have him first just yet.
I don't.
Well,
no,
listen, until Kylian Mbappe,
no,
until Kylian Mbappe actually leaves.
No. If Mbappe stays at PSG, he will not play.
Well, no, we don't know that just
Qatar
don't know
have
that
more
just
money than
don't know
any.
that just
That will happen, Bretson.
Okay.
But
Well, if he holds out, that's fine, but he hasn't yet. I'm not going to put him in the golden boot. I'm going to expect that he's either like crying at home or he is whatever.
He's not crying. He
No,
got 60 million
whatever.
for
He's on
loyalty
vacation.
bonus.
Whatever Mbappe does in his free time, I don't care. No, Gonzalo Ramos will be there, but I want to bring up one player who I think is going to have a monster season. We know Manchester City is putting a lot. Manchester City, Breton, Chelsea is putting a lot of money, and Todd Bowley into Strasbourg. Okay. And they also happen to have a 27-year-old striker last season that dropped 20 goals. Now you put Angelo around him, right? Now you bring back Moise Wahi. You bring back some of the other really, really encouraging names. Bakwa they brought in from Bordeaux. All these kind of lightning rod, young Ligue 2, prospects. And you put them around this Habib Diallo. I think Habib Diallo is going to score more than 20 again this season, okay? Now, if Ramos goes above 20, they're going to duke it out, is my guess.
Gonzalo Ramos will go above 20 in Ligue 1, Bretson.
He probably
Trust me on that. Trust me.
Okay, but my third place here, I was going to go blast for the past with a little Lacazette action, but I decided against that, okay? My third place, I'm going to go with another Nigerian striker that needed to hit the ground running at Nice last season after moving over from Lorient. I'm going to go with Terem Moffi in third.
Very good show.
Why, though?
Very
Because
show,
Nice
mate.
has Jeremy Boga, they brought in from Serie A. They've got Gaetan Laborde, and they've got one of the most interesting wonder kids in the entire Lyon, and that is Boudjadine Bouanani, young winger that I think is going to set Lyon alight this season, not be on the podium, but help Terem Moffi be on the podium. So that is my podium. But there's so many shouts, dude. There's so many good young strikers there.
Gonzalo Ramos.
I know. But here, I'm giving
bias.
no love to, I'm wearing even Canadian red, right? And I'm giving no love to Jonathan David. A lot of that's because I think he is going to move. A lot of that is also because I think Lille is not the Lille of old.
Fitters.
And 10 goals of his 24 or so last season were penalties. So the most of anybody in that upper three, upper four. Jonathan David's a great striker. Forgot to mention earlier things, Jonathan David could actually wind up in the Premier League. But we haven't heard anything. But
he's got the quality.
Spurs?
Not for an Arsenal.
Maybe
Not for an
Spurs?
Arsenal. Not for an Arsenal, but for a Spurs. Taremi and Jonathan David. Look, that
Could
would
work
be.
out.
I've seen worse deals. So
yes,
let us know your golden boots until now in this video and the leagues we've discussed.
Yeah.
But now Bundesliga. Bundesliga, top goal scorer, just like La Liga Lewandowski. Bundesliga, Harry Kane.
Yeah.
But the number 2 and 3, I think we're going to have interesting shouts. I'm going to say number 2, I'm going for my Leverkusen love with Xabi Alonso. I'm going to say Boniface will be the number 2 goal scorer in the Bundesliga in Xabi Alonso ball. Okay. Xabi Alonso with Bayer Leverkusen went from 16th to 6th without a goal scorer. Yeah. And now with Boniface, he has one that at Royal Saint-Gilloise, if you watched him, very, very talented. So my top 3 goal scorers of the Bundesliga have number 1, Harry Kane.
Yeah.
Number 2, Šeško, and number 3, Boniface. I'll keep it like that.
Wow.
Šeško or Openda.
Openda. That's who I got.
I
got Openda. Openda's on my I think Šeško will do well. I think he's going to need a season of transition.
Šeško is going to go crazy.
Openda, he creates creates with. I just think with him with Xavi Simons, him with Seevold. I think these guys will gel together right away. Openda, he's coming obviously off of the best season he's ever had. He is the Belgian striker of the future. So I got a lot of love for Šeško too. But I love your shout at Boniface. So pre-Harry Kane, I actually had Sebastian Haller at the top of my list. So I'm going to now put Harry Kane at the top. We look at our other video. We talk about why all the various threats around him.
Yes.
I mean, it's going to be big. 2, I'm going to pick Sebastian Haller. I think he has to because I don't think Dortmund's as strong as maybe people are giving them credit for. They're not as strong as their second place finish last season, that's for sure. And they need Malen, they need Adeyemi around him to pick it up. But I think Haller in a fully, left alone, no injuries, Haller is going to score goals. He will score goals, right? 3, I had Boniface. I like that idea, but I had previously 2 Openda. So Boniface gets kicked off.
Look,
Openda's in there as 3. And I think that's a pretty good trio.
When I say no Haller, I do realize now, of course, I'm being stupid. I have to put Haller in my top 3.
Okay.
And yes, Openda is the safest. No, I realize it. I realize it. And the thing with Haller is the minute that Haller started to play at Dortmund, they became title contenders. And without him, they were definitely not. Yeah. So I have to respect. That shout, Breton, and that top 3. But Boniface, come on, man, just make it happen.
Yeah, but you know who's still on the roster? Remember Patrick Schick, right? Now 27 years old. I'm not going to say
He's
anything,
not
but
have
I still remember it was only 2 full seasons ago that Patrick Schick dropped 24 goals on the Bundesliga. I only hope he's not going to be on the podium. I only hope that he's healthy and he's back to scoring goals again because Xabi Alonso could use him.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But we'll see.
So with now other leagues, with Portuguese League, let's go with my bias.
Let's do it.
The Portuguese League top 3 goal scorers for next season. I fully believe it will be Gyökeres of Sporting, the most expensive signing in Sporting history.
City represent.
Number 9. More than 20 goals in the championship. Gyökeres. Number 2, Artur Cabral, just signed from Fiorentina. I think he's going to be really good with Benfica and become a striker for the Brazilian national team if it works out.
Okay.
And my number 3 is the replacement of Taremi, that I think Taremi might be leaving, is Fran Navarro of Porto. Fran Navarro scored 17 goals in Gil Vicente last season, 40 to 50% of the goals of the club. Spanish, a lot of potential, and knows the league. And I think he'll be a top 3 goal scorer.
I think the bigger issue there is if Taremi doesn't go, and then he goes in the winter.
No worries. Taremi can play. They can play together.
Okay.
Taremi's really good because he's a striker that can be the goal-scoring striker, and he's a creative striker too.
Yeah.
So get him.
Because I imagine if you can score 17 for Gil Vicente, you can score 20 plus for Porto. Although Evan Nielsen's probably like, what about me?
But theoretically, yes, but a lot comes to hand too. It's the tactics, the style of play, and I think Fran Navarro will be really good with Porto. My opinion.
What about? I agree, for the most part. I'm not even going to try Abel Ruiz.
That could be a shout.
I know the Horta. Which one? Ricardo Horta does most of the scoring, right?
Phenomenal
I mean, Abel Ruiz had some goals, but he wasn't. Does Braga to take another step higher? Mm-hmm. Do they need like a bona fide
I like Abel
striker?
Ruiz. I think Abel Ruiz. And the under 21 Euros, he surprised me a lot.
Okay.
One of the best players of Spain. But Ricardo Horta, I love how you're mentioning. Yeah. Ricardo Horta, for the people at home, is one of the best, if not the best, player ever in Braga history. Yeah. And he's the top goal scorer of Braga in their history. Ever.
The only thing I have to say, because Artur Cabral is going to definitely cook for Benfica. But I remember Cabral for Basel. And if he gets that form again where he was ripping shots for 25 yards out, he was, if he gets that form again, Benfica's going to have a lot of fun with this guy. I still think Lucas Beltran would have been the better signing.
Than Artur.
He's
Artur. Cheaper. Artur was 5 million cheaper.
Yeah, and he's a better investment. I mean, he fits the Benfica mold, but Benfica's got money to spend these days.
And Artur is going to be happy in Lisbon at Benfica. Okay. And I don't think he was happy competing with Luka Jovic. No. And he was the top goal scorer of the Conference League last season.
Sure.
So
yeah, that's true.
Let's wait and see.
Right.
So, Eredivisie.
Yep.
Eredivisie. This is a league that some players have left, but others have stayed. And I have in my top 3. I still have Luke De Jong here. Luke De
14 last season.
But the number 1, Santiago Gimenez. I think he's going to be the top goal scorer of Eredivisie. Arne Slot. Yes, he couldn't keep Kokshu when going to Benfica. But he kept Santiago Jimenez, extending his contract, and
yeah.
he will remain the top goal scorer.
Oh, yeah, and there's a lot of talent around Jimenez. So Igor Paixão is going to have a huge season for Feyenoord. But Jimenez having the full season, having that confidence under his belt, I hate rooting for a Mexican striker, but I also have him for my Golden Boot leader.
Santiago Jimenez is going to become the most expensive Mexican player ever, right?
Yeah, well, let's see. Edson Alvarez just made that move. What was that, 38?
38.
So probably.
I think so too.
Yeah, probably.
Think so too.
Especially if somebody comes after him next season when he's still deep in his new contract.
Atletico de Madrid. I think he fits your mold. Just saying, Simeone. Just saying.
Well, I've got Santiago Jimenez. Luke De Jong managed 14 last season. Technically, he's getting older, but if you watch the PSV's first few games, he doesn't look older. He was scoring for fun, he was scoring for fun recently. Selfishly, I'd like Luke De Jong to slow down, because then what do I get to see? I get to see Ricardo Pepi. Pepi with 10 plus for the worst team in the league last season.
That's a good point.
Groningen, I don't have him on here. I actually don't have a PSV player on here.
I've got
Santiago Jimenez. I've got who is the one? Duvikas from Utrecht. Okay. There are 2 Greek strikers.
Bold.
Yeah, well, they were up there last season. Pavlidis and Duvikas. Pavlidis
that's a good player.
From AZ Alkmaar and Duvikas from Utrecht. I don't think they're going to stop scoring. And both of those teams have actually strengthened this season. So I really do feel like they'll be back up there. But I'm just picking one of those Greeks. Because the other guy, third place, I'm going to pick Ajax. Needs a lightning rod. They need somebody that's going to actually get things done. 21-year-old Brian Brobby will do it.
I thought you were gonna go for Carlos Borges.
No.
Which
we don't know. We don't know how he's gonna pan out.
19 million.
We got Steven Bergwijn as the captain. We've got Berghuis is like, this team ain't good enough. Ajax is looking weird right now.
That was before Borges.
Right, but he hasn't even played
a
minute.
I believe Sutalu's going to happen.
Ajax needs to start turning the ship around. I don't think they're running for the Eredivisie title this season. I don't think so at all. But I do think Brian Brobby, who managed 13 goals and 17 starts last season, if he's given a full season in the Eredivisie, he could do, just on his physical attributes alone, he could do 18, 20.
Okay,
so he's my third.
That's a bold shout. And make sure to tell us who are your top goal scorers in the Eredivisie. Now, the last 2 leagues. We wanted to talk about the Turkish Super League because it's very interesting this season.
It is.
And the top 3 is not going to be an easy choice. But my top goal scorer of the Turkish Super Liga for next season, I'm going to put Dzeko, because that Dzeko Tadic duo.
Wow.
It's going to go bold. I'm going to put 2 Icardi. I know it's permanent, but I still think Dzeko is going to be better. And 3, I'm going to put Cenk Tosun, a legend of Besiktas.
Wow.
And look, if it's Abubakar, it's Abubakar. But I just believe Tosun will score more goals. So that's my top 3.
Legend of the bench at Goodison Park. Terrible. That's just mean.
What's your top 3?
Okay, my top 3, I got to switch that with Icardi at the top. I think Icardi with Kerem Aktürkoğlu, who I think is one of the best players in the Super League. I think Kerem Aktürkoğlu, here's a reason to talk about him. He's the reason why Icardi is going to finish at the top of the Golden Boot, but he's also going to be one of the biggest buys from the Super League this season, Aktürkoğlu. Where he's going to go, I don't know. PSG should probably look at him, is what I'm saying. But I'm going to go with Icardi. I think he could actually get close to what Enner Valencia did last season, 29 goals. And then I'm going to go with Dzeko.
Okay.
And then third place, I will go with Abubakar.
Ooh, so we just defer in the first and second. Fenerbahçe, Galatasaray.
But there is a wonder kid on Besiktas. Did I get it right?
Yes.
I got it right.
Besiktas.
Besiktas. There is a wonder kid. I want to make sure I get his name right. Semih Kılıçsoy, 17 years old, striker. He's going to be behind Abubakar. I would like to see him get some time this season. No, he's not going to be a Golden Boot winner, but that is somebody you got to watch out from a striking prospect.
That's an interesting name.
But now we got the Pro League, which I think
the Belgian
unanimous.
Pro League, yes. Yeah. The Belgian Pro League that people, you should pay attention. Okay, Royal Antwerp won the Belgian Pro League with a wonder kid like Arthur Vermaelen, which is a midfielder. Pay attention to him. but they got strikers too and a lot of wonder kids. So please pay more attention to the Belgian the Belgian Jupiter League. And sorry,
Jupiler.
Sorry, Jupiler League. Jupiter.
Jupiter.
So in the Belgian League, my top goal scorer for next season, I go Gift Orban.
Of course.
Okay, Gift Orban scored like three goals in.
Even if he doesn't stay a full season, Gift Orban.
Exactly. In January, he landed in January and he had 20 goals.
He's got 25 and 25 right now since joining Ghent.
Gift Orban is
crazy.
Unreal. Yeah. So Golden Boot of the Belgian League. Number 2, I'm gonna say Igor Thiago.
Okay.
This is a bold signing. Okay.
Yeah, he's been good.
Ludo Garret, 7.5 million. Club Brugge needed goals when Ferhan Jutgla got injured.
Yep.
And this man, I think, will bring them. And I got number 3, Kasper Dolberg at Anderlecht.
Wow, blast from the past.
Blast from the past. Kasper Dolberg, I think he's happy at Anderlecht. And, yeah, it's a new opportunity for him.
It is. I still remember the days.
It's true.
Ajax, man. That Ajax team. Well, I'm going to go for a Ghent 1-2 here. Gift Orban, yes. Gift Orban is going to score enough goals to either be first or second, even if he lands the transfer out at some point. And now, if he lands the transfer out before the summer's up, then we've got an issue here, I guess.
No, we do.
But his teammate, Hugo Kuipers, already has 6 goals in 3 games in Conference League qualifiers. Now, Conference League's a little different than Pro League, but Kuipers has scored in the Pro League as well. He would take over. I think he'll be on the podium. I don't know where, second, third, somewhere, but I think there'll be 2 Ghenters. I don't know if that's the right term. That will be on there because I think Ghent is actually a really, really solid shout. They have as good of a chance to win this season than they have in a long time. But somewhere in there, I think I have to put Igor Thiago as well because he has looked really good. Although Ferhan Jutgla could come back, and I don't know. They've got a lot of striking. Victor Barbera is there. They've got a lot of opportunity. But Westerlo...
What a signing from Barca. Yeah, another one.
Westerlo just brought in Matija Frigan, who's a really interesting Croatian prospect. So that's somebody that I'd watch because Westerlo has been spending money, bringing in like junior FC Wonder Kid. I've enjoyed it. They got Brian Reynolds in the back. That's where De Kuiper was on the left side before he moved to Club Brugge. Okay. But they are somebody to definitely watch because they're starting to spend a little money.
Westerlo.
Yep, yes. KBC Westerlo. And Frigan is definitely going to be their striker. Not so right now, but once he gets into the season, you'll see it. So he's going to be my wild card pick for the podium.
Okay.
There. But Gift Orban, man. If your team is not scouting Gift Orban and they don't have him in their short list just yet, I'd write them a very strict letter.
They're definitely doing something
They gotta.
So with the golden boots of the European leagues, I believe Premier League, Haaland, Osimhen, Serie A, Lewandowski, La Liga, and in the Bundesliga now, Harry Kane. Yeah. Do we agree on this?
Yeah, for the most part, sure.
I don't even
remember what I said. We just went through 9 leagues, and he's making me recall.
Remind us, okay, in the comment section, and tell us what are your choices for the golden boots of the top 9 leagues, okay? Go bold in the comment section, and if you're listening until now, it's a huge help for us at FC Wonder Kid for you to smash that like button.
What's smash look like? It's not like this. It's like
smash it, okay? Thank you for going bold, and thank you for listening until now.